Good afternoon, Penhanda. Thanks to Dr. Martin Hyde for a fascinating presentation. So I don't have slides today, so I should be doing a talk, so I don't have to mess around with the clicker, which is good for me. So I'm just going to briefly talk today about some of the challenges older workers can face accessing and staying in work, and what's being helped done to tackle some of those barriers. But also what more needs to happen to support people over the age of 50 to stay in the workplace for as long as they wish to and to thrive. So older people have faced some huge challenges over the past couple of years, being disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and then having to face the cost of living crisis, predominantly on low fixed incomes. So compared to other age groups, older workers are facing the highest rate of redundancy caused by the pandemic. Recent stats published by the ONS show that following the end of the furlough scheme, more than 180,000 people aged over 50 left the workplace. So sadly, older workers who lose their jobs are far more likely to step into long-term unemployment. If you're over 50 and unemployed, you're twice as likely to remain out of work for 12 months compared to younger workers. For many people, this will mean that without an income or reduced hours, at the time they're in most financial need, and this can obviously impact in terms of income and retirement. So this obviously was an issue before the pandemic, but it's just been made significantly worse during the last couple of years. So there are a number of reasons that finding new work may be challenging for people in their 50s and 60s. Many older workers don't have much recent experience of searching for work. So according to a 2021 report from the Institute for Fiscal Studies, over 2/3 of 55-year-old workers have been with their employer for more than 5 years. And only 4% of older workers typically change their job in a single year. So older workers are less likely than younger workers to change occupation, which obviously can have an impact as the economy adjusts to new patterns of working. The report also noted that older job seekers from lower socioeconomic backgrounds are more likely to struggle to find new work after a long period of unemployment. And those with low level of education, the long-term unemployed, and women are particularly less likely to re-enter work at older ages after becoming unemployed. So one of the reasons many older workers find it difficult to stay or get back into the workplace is the lack of flexible working options. So compared to other age groups, older workers are more likely to be living with long-term health conditions and are more likely to have care responsibilities, as we've touched on already. So a recent analysis of ONS data for the charity Restless found that 1.6 million adults aged 50 or over in the UK are unable to work because of long-term sickness. Obviously, this is a significant amount of people, and this has increased by 20% or by 270,000 people during the last 3 years. So, however, many of these people could return to the workplace with the right support, and at the same time enabling older people to re-enter the workplace. We'd also go some way to help address the huge staff shortages in the industry at present. In terms of unpaid carers, the most recent census data reported the highest percentage of unpaid carers in Wales for individuals aged between 55 and 59 for females and 55 and 64 for males. And obviously it's our key kind of working age. In addition, Age Cymru had a survey where 31% of older people responded, told us that they currently had caring support, as someone they were providing care for. And of these unpaid carers, 55% of them had increased that care in the prior 3 months of the survey. And a number of these carers told us that they either had to reduce their working hours or had to leave their job because of their caring responsibility. Also impacting, this impacts a lot of older women because they are more likely to be unpaid carers and so more likely to have difficulties in staying in work and gaining employment. Also, older women face challenges posed by their menopause. Bupa found that almost 900,000 women in the UK had left their job because of menopausal symptoms. You know, this is such a taboo subject, even though it affects thousands of women across the UK, and it's really something that needs to be addressed in the workplace to reduce the unnecessary loss to so many women. So another key issue that older people come across, unfortunately, is ageism and age discrimination. So age discrimination in employment is now illegal with the default retirement age, and that was abolished in 2011. However, perceptions and stereotypes for older workers, usually negative, still prevail. So new research from the Chartered Management Institute suggests that firms are much less open to hiring older workers than they are to bring in younger people. So the CMI surveyed more than 1,000 managers working in the UK and found just 4 out of 10, so that's 42%, were open to a large extent to hiring people aged 50 and 64. whereas the figure was 74% when asked about hiring those aged 18 to 34. It's a huge difference there. And so older people applying for work often come up against widely held and damaging stereotypes. These include older workers will be less ambitious, have less commitments, be less productive, and be less adaptable. And in a report from the Centre for Ageing Better, older people told them that their motivations and ambitions were often called into question by employers, or that they were questioned about how long they were planning to stay in the job, the assumption being that they must be thinking about retirement. So in contrary to these stereotypes, according to the Micken Institute Centre for the Future of Ageing and the Stanford Centre for Longevity, older employers have a strong work ethic, take fewer sick days, and are better at resolving conflicts. So ageism can be prevalent at all stages of recruitment, from language in adverts and application, or to application forms wanting a full work history, give an indication of someone's age without asking the question. During recruitment, another issue that a lot of older people come across is the lack of representation of older people in advertising for jobs. So, I mean, generally, you don't see older people kind of represented at all, which obviously has the effect of older people feeling that they are not wanted by recruiters before they've even kind of stepped a foot through the door. At Age Cymru, we are calling for more realistic representations of older people in recruiting, but also more widely in marketing and the media, so people can feel seen and accurately represented. So behind me, there's a photograph, for example, from Age Cymru's This Is Older Library, which actually launches publicly tomorrow. So please take a look on our website for anyone to use, and it's for free and for public use, so please take a look. So I was touched on already around workplace training. Data also shows that older workers are less likely to take part in workplace training. So analysis by Restless found that 23% of 55 to 65-year-olds took place in workplace training between 2004 and 2017, compared to 33% of 16 to 24. And your continued training and development is essential to staying in work, progressing, but also feeling valued as an employee. That's incredibly important. So obviously I've talked about a lot of the challenges, which obviously are by no means exhaustive, but what's being done to help? So at Age Cymru, we believe that we need to challenge attitudes and work with organisations to help them remove those unnecessary barriers for older workers. And at the same time, we want employees to understand the benefits that a mixed age workforce can bring to an organisation. Age is a protected characteristic, but it's often overlooked when considering the working environment and needs of workers and training for staff. So this is why we're working closely with business and the community Cymru on the Age at Work programme, and why Age Cymru are rolling out our age awareness training to employers across Wales. So the Age at Work programme helps employers take action to ensure organisations can support older workers to stay at work as long as they wish to, and to appeal to over 50 seeking a return to work. So they've helped more than 40 employers be part of this programme to date. So the programme offers free tools and support to help employers to recruit and retrain colleagues over 50, and supports workers aged 50 plus to remain in work, develop skills, continue to earn, stay connected, and have a fuller working life. The tools include an age-inclusive employer review, a simple online self-assessment tool which helps to identify gaps and highlight strengths in an organisation's approach to supporting other workers, and an age inclusion in the workplace. They also have an age-inclusive toolkit, which is an employer's go-to guide to support staff with 4 key areas, which are health and well-being, financial well-being, workplace practices, and work-life balance. The programme can also deliver mid-career reviews to staff over 50 with an opportunity to reflect and take a forward look at career, health, well-being and finances, and plan for a positive future. And lastly, they have their quite new age-inclusive learning network where businesses can connect with a small group of HR, inclusion and wellbeing professionals to learn, discuss challenges and share best practice as they work in developing an age-inclusive action plan for their own organisation. So there are a few upcoming online workshops for employers as part of the Age Inclusive Learning Network. So you can look to the Age at Work's website for any more information on that. So as Martin Cully mentioned, Age Cymru did have an event at the Senedd from 1st of January, which was spotlighting employment and older workers. We heard from a variety of speakers about the current context for older workers in Wales. And amongst the many fascinating presentations, we also heard from an age-inclusive employer legal in general, and they are currently engaged in the Age at Work programme. And they spoke about how they support older workers and the positive impact it's having on employees. And one of whom told us directly about her experiences, which is fantastic to hear. So as an example, as an organisation who are working really well in their age inclusivity, So they have a number of things in place to foster an age-inclusive environment. This includes a clear retirement policy to support older workers and to signpost them to tools that can help them to prepare for retirement. These are things like financial planning tools, managing their well-being, and flexible working discussion aids. They've also developed a menopause policy to support their female workers and provide tools and education for line managers to help them understand how they can support people going through the menopause. And they noted that tackling issues like menopause is normalising what happens to people as they get older, so it becomes easy to talk about in a work context. Other initiatives taken by Legal & General to support their over 50 employees include a suite of retirement materials to help them demystify this often stressful stage of life, such as the Rewirement podcast and articles to help people make the most of their retirement. And that breaks down the step to take to understand how much is needed in a pension pot and ways to provide an income when you retire. So it's really brilliant to see such organisations like Legal & General are leading the way in making workplaces inclusive. And there's so many benefits to organisations as well as individuals of being age inclusive and making changes to support older workers. There are many organisations in Wales championing the rights of older workers. There's Prime Cymru, who support older people in Wales to find employment, self-employment, training and volunteering opportunities. Or there's organisations like Carers Wales and Carers Trust Wales who champion the rights of unpaid carers. So there is a lot of work going on across Wales, but much more needs to be done. We really need to address the challenges faced by older workers. Employers must take steps to create a more inclusive workplace. This includes providing equal opportunity for training and development, ensuring that recruitment processes are free from discrimination, such as age-blind application tools, promoting an age-diverse workforce, and ensuring that there are policies in place to enable inclusivity, such as flexible working and menopause policies. This can help to ensure that older workers are valued for their skills and experience rather than discriminated against based on their age. I just want to finish by saying that by putting the right support in place and tackling the widely held stereotypes of older workers, we can help people thrive and work for however long they wish to. And we also open up a wealth of skills, experience, expertise, and people who can be huge assets for businesses across Wales. So Age Cymru, we do have a stall here today, so please come over and speak to us and learn more about what we do if you're here in person. Obviously look at our website if you're online. And we also have some copies of our most recent journal called Visit, which is all focused on older workers. So yeah, thank you for listening to me speak today, and I hope to carry on the conversation with you all. Thank you.